Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Spectrum Drama, where we take a look at the hottest posts on Spectrum for the week and give our opinions on them. So before we get started, don't forget that this will be the last video in September that you can comment on to win the Grey Cat Buggy and also the Mustang Alpha game package. So get commenting on this and all the videos in September for your chance to win. And don't forget to go and show Australis Space Alliance, or ASA for short, your love. They kindly gave us these prizes to give away. Very awesome people. If you're looking for an organisation to join and you just want some cool people to hang out with, maybe even teach you how to fly, they're very, very handy. So give them a shout. And it is a huge pleasure this evening to have on our channel the awesome CaptainZapps of Twitch fame. He is an awesome streamer on Twitch. He streams Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, 7 till 10 BST. Awesome content, so definitely go check him out if you get the chance. And yes, he's going to give us all of his opinions on tonight's topics, so we're very, very excited. So how's it going tonight, CaptainZapps?
Doing awesome, man. Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure, my friend. So we're basically just going to break down, if you're new to our Spectrum Drama videos, some of the posts from Spectrum and just kind of give it the crying cow treatment. So if you're up for that, let's get started.
Absolutely.
Okay, so first up we've got a post from Kanguro Guro, and it says, new ship hype vanishing. So his hype is turning into frustration. It says, I hope we'll have pics, details and specs later today. Please don't leave us hanging the whole weekend. And the gist really of this is that this kind of hype they've been generating over the past, week or so has kind of we're kind of done with it now. You know what I mean? A few days of hype would have been good, but when you're turning into a couple of weeks of hype, I think people are just now want the details. We're done with that. Do you agree with that, or are you happy to be on this hype train for another week?
I think Kangaroo speaks for the whole community here. I mean, a 5-day release is a good expectation because you have a Thursday ISC and then usually concierge might get it that night, the rest of the world on Friday. But dragging it out, what is it, 10 days now? It's just you kind of go over this curve of excitement, and now we're at the back end of that curve.
Yeah, you see a lot of this on Twitter as well. People have just kind of had enough of it. I don't know why they chose to go this long, really. And then when they did release information, it was down to third-party articles. There's nothing on Spectrum, or there's no stats for this ship or anything.
Nothing. Wait till October 10th as well, I think, probably to get any further information.
Yeah, it's too far away. It's too stretched out, and all that you do is when you drip feed this information like this, it does build frustration because people want to know what this ship is. They want to know the stats. They want to know, what guns has it got, all that kind of stuff. And when they kind of, just slowly drip feed it out to you, it becomes a bit painful after a while, and you just think, just I'm done now. Show me the ship.
Yeah, the excitement's gone after a while, And I mean, to get it through Newsweek, it was just a bit like, why guys? Why can't you just put it on the site,
Yeah, they should have done it simultaneous, put it on Spectrum, even just a comms link post with the general stats of it, the same time that the news articles came out. Why hold it back? And they've even put up a Q&A. They're asking for questions for a Q&A, but no one knows anything about the ship, really.
That's crazy.
That's CI logic for you right there.
Yeah.
Cool, so that leads us nicely into our next post, which is from Eratosthenes, and it says, interdict me equals kill on sight. And it says, I'm not a kill on sight player, but if you interdict me, I'm weapons free. Not only is it assault, but worse, you have forced me to babysit boring quantum travel instead of grabbing a beer. I'll worry about whether I get stat for defending myself later. Don't bother hailing or other bullshit. Hope you like dodging missiles. Ta-ta for now. Love that. Just brilliant. So yeah, I mean, that explains it all. Basically you pull us out of warp when we just really want to watch a YouTube video. You're gonna get some trouble, basically.
Yeah, and I like this guy. I mean, he's grabbing a beer for quantum travel. I mean, that's respectable.
Yes, basically the only thing you should be doing, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing else to do in your ship, so hey, you might as well just go get a beer.
That's it.
I can understand and relate to his displeasure of all the quantum interdiction that's going to be happening on his travel now.
Yeah, I've seen this sentiment actually quite a lot. People are just basically going to shoot the Mantis on site. They don't care.
But here's the thing, though. The Mantis can't defend itself. I mean, it's a support craft from... I mean, I'm guessing here, but I don't think it's going to be able to hold its own,
No, it's basically got 2 size 1 weapons, and it has to power down everything else on the ship just to use the quantum net thing.
So basically, it's piss somebody off, they're going to come get you, they blow you up, and they carry on.
Yeah.
Unless you're well organized.
Yeah, there's really no point in actually using that ship unless you've got a couple of friends with you.
Yeah.
It kind of it's one of those things where you do your big magic trick, but then you're pretty much defenseless, and you're just like
done.
It's like poking a bear, It just makes no sense. Yeah, it's going to be a tricky ship to use, I think, for a lot of people.
What about you, Zapps? Are you thinking about getting one of these?
It's what, I am very interested in getting it, but for all the wrong reasons. I really like the look of it. I've no need for an interdiction ship. I just like this new. I don't want to say a rebrand of RSI, but the upscale look of it looks really nice.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love it if they did a different variant that had like no interdiction on it, but had like a turret and a little bit of cargo. That would be a perfect little ship.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Imagine, right? You've got me in my Apollo eventually, and then you've got you trailing in the slightly more growly version of that. That would be an amazing combination because they just look sexy as fuck. So I really want to see that.
I have to say, I absolutely love the look of the Apollo. What a ship!
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that ship. Although it's going to be a long wait, but what can you do?
You can definitely see a theme going on between the two of them, the Apollo and this Mantis. Looks wise, they are very similar.
Very much, yeah. And I don't know what it is, but if you guys are Star Trek fans, but the nacelles on the back of it just look very Trekky to me. I did think they're badass.
There's pictures floating around where they were basically like comparing the two, and they are pretty similar. I'll be honest, they are really similar.
A bit worried about them getting shot off though. They look like they're a prime target.
It's an RSI weakness, isn't it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a comment actually down below from Damiv that says the ship will be kill on sight for everyone within a week of its release. It's a griefer's dream ship and should never have been allowed in players' hands. And I don't agree with like it not being in players' hands, but I do agree that I think it is a hell of a power to give to players because of the way that they could use it to literally just piss people off who just want to get somewhere. Do you know what I mean? They might not even be attempting to do anything other than just to pull people out of warp because it's hilarious.
Yeah, that would be an absolute pain for a lot of people.
I mean, it's not a new, theory. They've been talking about this mechanic for a couple of years now, and there's plenty of other games that have got this as well. So it's not like it's something new and like proper trolly, really. Ideally, this is going to be used for like org events. If they're going to war with another org, or pirating, I guess, is what everyone's worried about. But it's not, it's not impervious. There's ways around it and there's ways to avoid it. So it's just going to be another mechanic that people are going to have to get used to and figure out how to not get caught.
Exactly. And like one of the big mechanics around it is, right, you have interdiction, but you can't do it alone. So there's a whole team play aspect of this that has to be taken into consideration. No guy's going to grief on their own. They have to organize themselves and be griefers, if they're going to do it that way.
Yeah. And as soon as some more law-abiding citizens get wind of there's a pirate group pulling people out of warp, then just mass up and go get them.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to cause some interesting gameplay. I think that it's going to be frustrating for a little while, but then once people start using them properly and once you kind of get a balance between the people using them and the people coming for them, I think it is going to be fun. And like you said, it's going to force people to play in a little bit more group orientated, which this game does lack a lot. You just see these single ships just floating around space, just pootling around. You very rarely see groups of people anymore in this game, so that will be nice.
Yeah, as someone once told me there last week on stream, Star Citizen is a single player game with people in it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's just, that's the way it is, One thing about the game mechanic, though, actually, that I found quite cool from the Newsweek article, not to go off the topic but they have a big red glow around the quantum interdiction radius. I'm just wondering, can you see that from a distance? Because that's pretty cool. You could always avoid it then,
Depends, I suppose, on the if you're in warp.
Oh yeah, it'd be too late then, wouldn't it? Really?
Yeah, I think you'd probably be going a little too fast to.
Yeah.
You never know.
But sure, if you're coming out of like an armistice zone, you're like, oh, there's a red bubble over there. I'm not going to go that way today.
Yeah. Especially with the second mechanic, which is the what did they call it? Not the net, the
enforcement, was it? Quantum enforcement or something crazy like that?
Something like that, where basically that's the one that prevents you from warping rather than pulling you out into Dick style. And I think that one's going to be the pain in the arse one. They're going to have to stop people from being able to do that near, a bit like you can't use the mining laser inside the armistice zone. You're not going to be able to use that either because people will never get out of warp, basically.
Yeah. I think that only has a range of 2 kilometers.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
Thanks.
Is it only 2 kilometers?
I think so for that one. Yeah.
Wow, that seems a bit short, really.
Yeah, it's very up close and personal.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they're gonna adjust that.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in almost every weapon's range, even like really short, ranged weapons. It's like you can almost spit on them. Okay, and that moves us ever so slyly onto the next topic, which is from the Jock, and it says, why a specific interdiction ship instead of a module? So the gist of this is basically, why have we got a whole ship to interdict with when this could maybe be a module that you have on existing ships? And obviously most people's reasoning on this is, well, to sell a ship. So, that's pretty much it. It's to sell another ship. But I think it's more than that. I think there's going to be a lot more to this than just bolting on a thing to another ship and going, I can interdict. This is going to have a lot more gameplay element to it. But what do you think? Do you think that putting a module on another ship would have been a better way to go?
The way I see it, right? Firstly, why have this new ship come in like this? One, you're testing a very localized thing, a ship with a specific mechanic, and that way you can test it properly before implementing modules. From a lore side, why could it be here? I think might have something to do with Squadron. Everything now that's being put into the game is very driven for that side of the game.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the Squadron part though. It seems a bit weird if they had. Why would this ship be used in Squadron? I can't think of, unless there is actually a mission where you have to go and interdict an NPC for some reason. I can't see of any other reason why you put this ship in Squadron 42.
Yeah, it's very much a multiplayer ship.
As far as ships go, maybe not this ship specifically, but maybe the interdiction mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ideally you would want this as a module so you could, spec your ship how you want to spec it. And if you want this on your, Valkyrie, then fine, go for it. But they like to sell ships, so it's stuck on a ship for now. Yeah.
And they do like to sell ships, and it's their money maker, I definitely do think though they should make modules for this. And when they do have the modules, okay, they might not have the range as a ship with the primary weapon is interdiction, but still allow people to customize their own ships to some degree.
Yeah. One question that's quite interesting on the post is it's kind of 2 questions actually, but he kind of says it twice pretty much. But why would you allow civilians to have a ship like this, because it is completely a griefers ship when you actually think about it. Why would they allow that outside law enforcement? Because that is the job of the law in this game, is to actually come in, interdict you, check your shit, make sure you're not doing anything nasty, you know. So it seems weird that just any old, you know, Tom, Dick and Harry can have one of these. You know, it seems weird.
Oh, totally. I completely agree. Those two questions there, yeah, it doesn't make any sense for normal civilians to have this kind of technology in their hands.
Yeah, but there've been sort of military in the law. There was I can't remember, it was a while back, where they, you know, released certain military ships to the civilian market for whatever the reason was. I can't remember. There was a law reason. So, you know, if someone can own a Idris, then why not, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose it's kind of like having, like, you know, you can, like, for example, I can go out today and I can buy an old police car, like an old American police car. The one thing I can't do is turn the lights on, because that's illegal. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you can have the ship, but can you really use that kind of tech? I kind of see the question. It's an interesting question. It does pose a lot of, like, in the law as well, it poses a lot of really awesome thoughts, you know, like, should it be allowed? Would it be allowed? And if it is allowed, you know, kind of like, how would they police the use of it and stuff, you know, because maybe I'm overthinking it.
I mean, really, it's just an extension of the EMP. On some ships, it's just a slightly different part that's getting, you know, shut down. So if civilians are allowed to run around with EMPs, then, you know, interdiction ship, then I guess it can work. I see why people don't really agree with it, about civilians running around with this kind of equipment, but from CIG's side, I kind of see why they're just going to let us go with it.
Yeah. Cool. So last up, we've got a post from Zap, and this is a really good post, and I think that it may just be because his name is Zap, and all cool people have the name Zap. Do we agree?
Oh, we agree. No relation, but we agree.
No relation at all. And the post basically says, the thing I really don't like about interdictions by players is being forced to safeguard my cargo in Quantum for now. Now, we've kind of covered this, but this is a little bit more in detail, is think about that logically for the minute. At the moment, we have nothing to do during a warp. We are literally just going from A to B, and we're just watching a bunch of colourful lights, and that is it. That's all we can do. No ships have anything to do really in Quantum. So then putting in a ship that can prevent you from, you know, pull you out of Quantum will basically mean that everyone genuinely does have to kind of sit there for the full 15 minutes to Hurston, just hoping, you know. It's going to kind of maybe it's a little too soon to add this mechanic, and maybe they need to test it, but yeah, I kind of see his point. It does seem a little bit too soon. What do you think? Too soon or just right?
I'm gonna say a bit too soon. I mean, this guy Zap, he's probably flying a smaller ship. That's why 15 minutes between areas, and that's a long time, you know, with nothing to do.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go for the devil's advocate again. You ready?
I am.
I seem to be doing this a lot tonight.
I'm bracing myself.
Again, I can see what he's saying, but in the current version of the game, I get interdicted 3 times when I jump anyway. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually, yeah.
I mean, I suppose the real big difference is going to be when you get interdicted by the police, you just stop and then go again. When you get interdicted by pirates, more often than not, you can just re-warp. They're too daft, or they're already chasing after someone else. I don't know, it's daft. When you get interdicted by a player, they are genuinely going to hound you. They're probably going to prevent you from being able to get away. That's probably the only real difference. But yeah, I kind of see it. I mean, we've been interdicted, 9 or 10 times in one warp, so we're kind of immune to it by now.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. You know, like you say, you can just reinitiate the jump, however frustrating it is. But now there's going to be that element of, you know, is it an NPC? or is it a player? And if it's a player, how many friends has he got with him?
Yeah. So instead of 9 times, it'd be like 12 or 13 times interdictions.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing that I think people are gonna, it's gonna be exciting, like you said, because is it, isn't it, and it's gonna be that moment where you either you get interdicted, you come out of interdiction, and you always do that thing where you normally you go, oh, third person, spin around, what's coming at me. And if you just see one of those lonely sitting on its own, you're going to be rubbing your hands going, yay, I get to blow something up. Basically.
Easy target.
Exactly, yeah. It is going to be an easy target. But then if that pulls you out of warp and he's got like a hammerhead and a bunch of friends with him, that's when you need to start, that's going to be a squeaky bum cheeks moment. So,
so do you do much pirating in the Star Citizen, Zapps?
Oof. Have you ever seen me try to pirate? It's pretty bad. It's
I've seen you trying to land. That was quite interesting.
Yeah, that's bad enough. Pirating probably is even worse, I navigate the lines of smuggling, more so than pirating, really.
Right.
Only because even though I did play second in BritainCon, I try to avoid PvP at all costs because I'm garbage, really, most of the time.
Sound like DB.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're being too modest. If anyone doesn't know, because I think we did talk about it a little bit, but when we were at BritainCon, they had a competition there, which was basically just Arena Commander, but people were serious, and CaptainZapps came second, which was pretty damn impressive. So well done for that.
Well, thank you. It was a fun day. It's a total fluke, though.
How was it a fluke?
Well, okay. I don't know, actually. Oh, that final round, actually, just thinking about it, we scored. It must have been the lowest scoring final round. There was a 2-point difference.
Oh, okay.
He won by slicing my wing off from a collision. We didn't even shoot each other. We never hit each other. He just hit my wing, tapped it off, and won by 2 points. Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to add to that post, Zap?
Just the one thing to quickly add is the thing how you're mentioning that it puts you on edge when you're traveling. I like that. It makes the player now think, all right, I've got to have people in my turrets, or I've got to have someone flying with me. And that's back to the team play I was talking about earlier. I think that is going to be a good driving force in the game, and it makes people kind of not just want to solo play anymore. And having this with mission sharing coming in, then we're really starting to see a multiplayer universe, and that's the cool side of it.
Yeah, that was what I was hoping for, was kind of that we'd get a little bit more of their, like you said, multiplayer gaming, and that it was like when pirates became a thing, and we did a post on this recent-ish. People were going, oh, pirates. And we were like, no, pirates are awesome, because all they do is they add an element of danger, fear, adrenaline, excitement to this game, which it needs. And this does the same. It just gives you that tiny element of, oh, am I going to get ruined here? It's awesome.
I should probably just clarify that although I'm kind of playing devil's advocate tonight, I have no intention of buying the ship, although it does look really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look cool. What do you think it'll go for price-wise?
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
I'm gonna go with 250.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right. I'd say, yeah.
It's conservative. I'm gonna go with 3.
Yeah, I think
300.
you might be right. Maybe
300.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I probably won't be. 300 sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, pick the price you think it's going to be. So 250 sounds about right. Then add a bit more, because that's the CIG way.
CIG tax.
Yeah. Chris Roberts tax.
Yeah, CR tax.
He needs more hookers. So, CaptainZapps, do you have anything coming up in the near future, stream-wise, that we can get our subscribers over to your way to watch?
As a matter of fact, yeah, I think the Friday night there's a big event, Operation Valkyrie, happening with an American streamer, Sawdog, and his crew, and I'll be joining them with a couple other streamers from, I think, 10 BST, I think, and we're going to play it till sunrise, probably. You know, the beers will be flowing. So
Cool.
That'll be a good night. After that, you can find me at CitizenCon, you know, so.
Yeah, hopefully we'll all be able to meet up. And as I've said a million, billion, squillion times, if you're going to CitizenCon, let us know on our Discord, because we're definitely going to do a meetup. Hopefully, we might even be able to get the old captain on board, and we can all have a good old drink and, you know, talk about some Star Citizen stuff.
Great, I'll bring the whiskey.
Okay, so there you have it. That is all the posts for this week. We hope you found them amusing or informative. If you did like these posts, then don't forget to leave this video a like and subscribe for more Star Citizen content. And don't forget to pop on over to Twitch and check out CaptainZapps' channel, because it is awesome. Lots of Star Citizen shenanigans, and he'll be happy to chat to you. And also don't forget to comment on this and every video that we've had in September for your chance to win the awesome Grey Cat buggy and that Mustang Alpha game package. And definitely pop onto our Discord and also to ASA's Discord for additional chances to win, but also just a general all-round awesome time, because we're lovely people and you deserve it. And that is it. So very, very, very special thanks to CaptainZapps. Thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And that is basically it for this week. So thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.